Sizzler is a restaurant chain known for steak, seafood, and salad bar items that opened in 1958. If you've clicked onto this video, then you know what today is. It's Throwback Thursday. Every Thursday, I'll be releasing a new video of an old video that I did before. These new videos are longer and have more detail than the ones before. If you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button and smash that notification bell so you get notified of my latest video. Be sure to leave a comment or a suggestion for a future video. Thanks for watching.
Ever since Charlie was a kid, he's put things together a little differently.
What's that? Peanut butter and tuna. Ew, yuck!
Even as a young man, his tastes were unique.
Pancakes. Oh, and gravy.
So when Charlie heard about Sizzler's combination celebration, he was thrilled. He could choose from 7 entrees, even all-you-can-eat shrimp, to make his own combination. And no matter which two he picked, it would be okay.
Steak and steak.
For Charlie.
Sizzler.
The chain was founded in 1958 as Sizzler Family Steakhouse by Dell and Helen Johnson in Culver City, California. The first unit of what would become a chain of budget steakhouses opened with $50 in the cash register and a menu featuring 4 steak items. The Sizzler concept, which came under the ownership of Collins Food International, formed during the early 1960s. It fared well as a chain operating in the budget steakhouse segment of the family restaurant industry. The company expanded throughout the western United States and into the southwestern reaches of the country, growing through the establishment of company-operated units and through the licensing of the concept to franchisees. By 1978, years of expansion produced a chain of 450 Sizzler restaurants, the majority of which were operated by franchisees. In the late 1970s and early 1980s, Sizzler promoted steak and combination steak dinners with an optional salad bar. The restaurant wanted to give customers the feel of a full-service restaurant at a price slightly more than a fast food chain. To control costs, many restaurants had in-house meat cutters that could cut steaks and grind beef. Sizzler also added fresh seafood, poultry, salads, tostadas, and new pasta bars, helping give birth to the seafood and steak restaurant concept that took root during the 1980s. The new Sizzler of the 1980s featured the new additions to the menu in a buffet-style setting, enabling patrons to serve themselves. Into the early to mid-1980s, competition appeared. Ponderosa Steakhouse and Bonanza Steakhouse. After a promotion such as an all-you-can-eat fried shrimp, the chain expanded its salad bar into a full buffet promoted as the Buffet Court. Patrons began to use the buffet as a meal instead of the add-on to an entree. In response, Sizzler lowered the quality in other areas. Sizzler also introduced a new free grilled cheese bread roll at the start of the experience, which was intended to line the stomach, curbing appetite. Customers took notice, and Sizzler's reputation suffered. Between 1980 and 1987, the Sizzler chain expanded from 128 company-operated and 324 franchise units to 170 company-operated and 373 franchised units. In September of 1990, Sizzler announced it was merging into its parent company, Collins Foods. To complete the transaction, Collins Foods sold its wholly owned business, a chain of 209 KFC's outlets, to PepsiCo for approximately 5 million shares of PepsiCo stock. Concurrent with the PepsiCo deal, Collins Foods purchased the 34% of Sizzler that was publicly held. The reorganization, completed in January of 1991, created Sizzler International Inc., parent company of Sizzler Restaurants International Inc. By the mid-1990s, the company's domestic operations was losing an estimated $1 million per month, draining Sizzler of its former vitality. Its debt soared toward $100 million, forcing the company to take evasive action. On June 2, 1996, Sizzler International Inc. and its U.S. subsidiary, Sizzler Restaurant International, filed for bankruptcy court protection, citing its debilitating leasehold obligations at many of its underperforming stores. During the year-long reorganization process, Sizzler shed 130 of its domestic company-operated restaurants, sold 6 of its upscale Buffalo Ranch steakhouses, and laid off more than 4,000 employees. The company reemerged from Chapter 11 in 1997. During the late 1990s, new management upgraded the quality of the food and increased prices. 21 locations closed in 2001. Sizzler began an image makeover circa 2002. A new restaurant concept was created, featuring a lighter and more open dining room. The changes were accompanied by a new menu. In an effort to return to its roots, Sizzler emphasized steaks, seafood, and the salad bar. While the all-you-can-eat buffet was phased out in some locations, it remained in many others. Sizzler was sold to Pacific Equity Partners, an Australian-based investment firm, in 2005. In January of 2008, Sizzler announced it was planning to take action against the Multi-State Lottery Association of Urbandale, Iowa, over the use of the name The Sizzler Hot Lotto. In June of 2011, Sizzler USA announced that a U.S. management group led by the Sizzler CEO would buy the American portion of the chain of 178 restaurants from Pacific Equity Partners, with the remaining 100 restaurants located outside the United States remaining with Pacific Equity Partners. Sizzler also launched the ZZ food truck to expand sales and test market new dishes.
Sizzler USA, one of America's first casual restaurant chains, has filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection as it struggles amid the pandemic.
Sizzler filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy Monday. The Orange County-based restaurant chain blamed COVID-19 pandemic for spiraling sales at its 107 locations. Sizzler is planning to keep all locations open for business throughout this process and added franchisees would not be affected. The company plans to emerge from the process within 120 days. Katie Johnston for CBS LA.
There are currently around 270 Sizzler locations, mainly in California, plus some in adjacent states of Washington, Arizona, Nevada, New Mexico, Idaho, Utah, Oregon, and Puerto Rico. What is your favorite memory of Sizzler? I also want to thank Daryl H. for his comment. Hopefully I called it Sizzler now, not Sizzlers. Thank you for pointing that out, my friend. I hope I did this video some justice. Thanks for watching. Hey, if you just watched my video, thanks for watching. Hit that like button and please subscribe to Eric C. Productions.